Hey y'all, John here. I know the title of this video is a bit scary, but I just realized I haven't done a sit down of any sort, just talking face to face as opposed to a lecture or some sort of scripted video in quite a while. So I wanted to set a few things straight about the last few years. If you've been with me for a while, you know that I started on social media when I was 11 or 12 years old. I did that for 4 or 5 years, and then when I was 16, 17, I stopped posting for a while, and then I came back and just totally switched niches, right? I used to do a lot of fitness content, and then now it's much more personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, all that kind of good stuff. So I want to explain kind of why I left, my decision to come back, and kind of the future of the channel and how I'm approaching what I'm doing now. And looking back, it's been a very strange journey on social media in that again, you know, if you've been following me for a while, I did it for a lot of years when I was very young. So, 300 YouTube videos, hundreds of posts elsewhere, and things really only started to go well in terms of exposure and content and so on toward the very latter compressed tail end of that. As in my last month of social media on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, I got something like 1 million views a day. And then the total exposure, right, across those 4 or 5 years was maybe, a few million more than that, as in the 98%, and I talked about this just in the last video or in a previous video, right, about the Pareto principle. The 98% came from that last month of social media. But then counterintuitively, that's when I quit social media. And there are a few reasons that I did that I haven't fully gone over. I think my first note there, what was interesting to me about that is that was the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And that I spent all these years just being like, okay, I want to make better content, I want to reach more people, and then I got there. I was making content that a lot of people liked. Now that kind of success and exposure, if continued, would have brought about a lot of really great things, right? If I'd kept that pace up, if I'd kept doing the fitness challenges, it'd be a much larger platform today, and I'd reach a lot more people. But getting to that point and being like, okay, this is what I thought I wanted and now I'm here, was a very interesting experience for a few reasons. The first of which is, when I was smaller, I got to engage with every commenter, I read every DM, it was about each person. There's something very nice about the degree of just connection there. And also counterintuitively, when you get to this point where there's thousands of people DMing you, where you get all this exposure and reach, it becomes much less about connection. It becomes more about just a numbers game, because there's just too many people, right? There are too many people, too many messages, too many comments, and then all that kind of stuff. So at some point, the creating videos becomes, hey, this is a business, I need to do X, Y, and Z. It's just the standard kind of loop that creators go through. And that's, for people who are fully invested in what they do, that's fantastic, and who want to do it forever. That's not a bad thing by any means, because you still can, right, engage people or I'd say connect with people. You just have to do that in different ways. That just wasn't the case for me for 2 reasons. The first of those is fitness has been a passion of mine, absolutely, but I'm not an expert in it. I never was an expert, and that's not something that I want to do professionally for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And then the second side of that is I have to think about the toll that takes on my body, and that the breakthrough content exposure-wise for me was the fitness challenges. That's what I did for 6 months, so 1,000 burpees a day, 1,000 burpees at one time, but 1,000 squats a day, 1,000 calf raises a day, max plank, just things of that sort. And those were also really fantastic experiences, right? Like just pushing my body and seeing what I can do and doing things no one else had done on social media. The problem there is you can only, you either have to stay at that level, so keep doing challenges like that, or do things that get crazier. And the degree of investment to do those things is momentous. To do 1,000 squats a day is an hour just to do the squats. Then you have to record and edit a video and then come up with an idea and then go and post it and manage and so on. And yes, a lot of that can be automated and delegated, but just the toll on my body as well. That's not something I wanted to keep up long term. I think there is there's a point at which those challenges just do take a toll on your body, where it's just not worth it assuming, hey, I want to do this for 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years, right? As in fitness challenges every month or however long for years on end is just really not worth it, I think, physically. So I was at this point where, yeah, I'd made it in a sense. I could keep doing that. I could keep gaining 50, 60,000 followers a month. But also I was now preaching something. I was preaching this fitness thing in which I wasn't an expert. So it was great to inspire people, but I also, there's imposter syndrome there in that, hey, who am I to show people, to tell people these things? And also I think I almost didn't want people to try and do what I was doing, in that, sure, if I go do 1,000 calf races a day, that's fine. I don't want someone who hasn't worked out in 8 months to go and try and do 1,000 calf raises and then just take the metaphorical statement of break a leg quite literally. So that was also a interesting dynamic there. I also briefly want to tell you about Odoo. They are, sure, a sponsor, but also just a partner and the most downloaded business software in the world that I actually use at my businesses. So that's why I'm pausing in the video right now to tell you about them. Odoo offers a full suite of integrated business apps so you can centralize every aspect of running and growing a business, whether that's sales, marketing, inventory, accounting, compliance, hiring and payroll and HR, and just every aspect of a business is brought onto this platform. And it's trusted by over 15 million people, and it costs less than a coffee a day. So that's just a little bit about Odoo. There is a link in the bio if you want to just check out their platform or get started with a free demo call. And with that, it's back to the video. And then a third aspect of it was the fitness space is hypersaturated. As in, if you want to go get inspired to get fit, to change your life, if you want to go just watch entertaining videos about fitness, there are a million fitness influencers that can do that, and all in their own style and way. And yes, what I was doing was fairly unique, right, as in just the fitness challenges. But in a generalized sense, people aren't going to get that much more out of me, or at least that's how I interpreted it, versus any number of other fitness influencers. So the impact cap was also there. And then my last problem with full-time fitness social media and all that kind of stuff was that if social media is what I do full-time to make money, I think I've almost failed. As in, I never want to be in a position where you are the product, where I have to keep sponsors happy or make a bunch of videos that you want so I can get ad revenue or all that kind of things. That doesn't mean I won't try and, of course, listen to the audience and do what you want, or that doesn't mean I won't take on sponsors whose brands, I respect and the products that I actually use. But I never want to be chained to those things because that's how I earn my living. And that wasn't the case with social media. Writing was what I did, marketing was what I did for all of those years, as well as just, side ventures and whatnot. But the problem was, if social media became, hey, I'm gonna do this full time, I'm gonna do this all the time, I'm gonna keep putting in that degree of effort that I had to put in toward the end, then that does become what I have to do to make money, to try and make more money, and to put myself in a place of financial security and freedom. So at some point, I have to do these other things that I really want to do, because really what I've been doing longer than I've been doing for social media is, hey, let me hustle, let me create products, services, and try and again put myself in that spot of financial freedom. So those two passions were really combating throughout the social media time. So that's ultimately what I did, and that's why I stopped posting for several years. And then recently, I've come back, totally switched niches. Right now, it's all personal finance, business, entrepreneurship content, and I have begun making that style of content for a few reasons. Now, first, I want to clarify that this is not what I do full-time. This is not what I even do part-time. This is what I do, and I make videos, once a week or so because I like to, because they're fun to make, and because I think I have a lot to share in that regard that is more unique than what you're gonna get from a lot of other people in the space. But social media is also not my focus by any means. I have my equivalent of a day job right at the software company. I have a few other companies. That is what I do. That is the majority of what drives income and wealth generation for me. So social media is just, okay, hey, this is cool. I get to reach a bunch of people. I also get to just spread a lot of the things that have helped me that I would have liked to see when I was a lot younger. And then also social media and that exposure does help with a lot of other ventures. For example, publishing and writing. I've been doing that for a lot longer. And in terms of getting publishing deals and so on, right, the exposure from social media is very, very valuable in that regard. And then where I also felt I wasn't the quote unquote expert in fitness is in that kind of imposter syndrome. I absolutely don't feel now with the type of content I'm putting out. And the reason there is, this is what I do. This is what I do all day for 12, 14 hours a day, or that may be extreme, but however many hours per day. And that's what I've been doing for about half my life now. And then the degree of impact is also higher. Health is everything. Health really, really matters. But people generally know what to do when it comes to, hey, I want to get a shape. Or I want to lose weight. They know I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to go on a diet, X, Y, and Z. And there are a lot of different ways to do that. And there's a whole world of fitness content and advice and strategies out there. But people generally have an idea of what to do. And the problem I see with wealth, with career nowadays, especially among younger people, is that they don't even know where to start. If you take the average college student, they're questioning everything. They're questioning their career. They're questioning the classes they're taking, the people they're around, what they're doing for money. That the whole domain of just life, I think, a lot of people are struggling with and just don't know what the point A is, much less A to B to C to D. And I think, quote unquote, personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and so on, those are much more centrally related to life itself. And that if you can help someone with, hey, this is what I want to do for 8 hours a day, this is my idea, it's what I want to put out in the world as a product or service, then that's how you meet people, right? That's your passion, it's what you get to build, that's what you spend your whole day doing. And health is so central as, yeah, you have nothing without your health, right? You need your health. But beyond that, money, business, personal finance really, really matters for all those reasons. It's what people spend at the end of the day the majority of their life and time doing. But again, my goal is primarily to share what I'm doing and just educate in that sense. Again, I never want to sell you all types of stuff and then a majority of my income to be derived from social media. There's a lot of very good reasons to do that, and there certainly is the side of, okay, if you have something valuable to share, you should charge people for it. But I think I can both long run make more money just doing what I do, and then just get more of the impact, the exposure, and just the pleasure out of just sharing those things for free. And that if you look at all the people that have actually done things that impact your day-to-day life and created really valuable things and also just made a lot of money, whatever those metrics for success are, a very, very small group of people have gone in that through content. Maybe a dozen, right? And even if you consider like E-Man and the amount of money he makes, the amount of exposure he has, what he's doing is valuable, it makes him a lot of money, but it also devolves in a lot of ways to the audience is now the product. And that's just a relationship that I've been in, and I don't see as a viable way forward, and I see as also a very capped way. So that's the plan, that's what I'm doing now. That's also why I am just totally niche hopped. Things are going very well, and people seem to be responding well to this type of content. I'm also running ads on the channel, so there is a lot of exposure that way, as in every single dollar that I make from the channel, I'm putting right back into it to just grow it. And it's been a cool journey, and it's been cool to just go through the process of formalizing a lot of my thoughts again, just like I used to, pull out a camera. But once again, I don't plan on going into content full time. This is much more of my outlet in a sense and a hobby versus what I do just full time. Now, if you have anything else you want me to cover, questions about absolutely anything, just drop those in the comments and I can either respond there, make videos about it, or go on Instagram and so on. But I hope that just does provide a lot of context for really the last 3, 4, 5, even 6 years if you have been following me for that long. So that is the video for the day. We'll call it here, and I will see you next week. And there is a dog that really wants to see me. So peace out.